One of the challenges with migration and the population shifting so quickly in Australia from the 90s through the 2000s, from Hong Kong Chinese to mainland Chinese and multicultural countries, we have now a very, very strongly Asian skew to our population. I don't think it's the most populous group coming over. I think still British migrants and Irish, actually. We've got the largest diaspora of Irish immigrants in Australia, I think. Asians are here now, and their culture translates. So racial demographics translate into culture. There's a two-way street. These Asian authoritarian cultures bring their children over here, raised in our system and in the Australian culture, and those children become very Australian, which is great fun because the parents think our culture is very low class and inferior to their Asian sophisticated ways. And these children become very relaxed and have a very Australian disposition, attitude toward life, which is frustrating for their conservative, authoritarian parents. It also goes the other way. We are also inheriting values and behaviour patterns and cultural traditions from foreign nations which do not align with our previously Anglo-Celtic and Judeo-Christian origins. So this is what Holy Spirit says. They don't care at all in terms of Asian authoritarianism. One of the shortfalls is saving face. They don't care at all about the truth or the facts of the case. They care about the money, and they care about the job, and they care deeply about the reputation, saving face at all costs. Yes, I see. That's why I had to take the whole case through to its end. My mother has been persecuted, and in my opinion, she has been harmed in a nursing home facility, and my protests and reports have brought about a very strong reaction from the staff who have shielded me, blocked me, and had me cast out in shame under surveillance because I've drawn attention to their failure, which hasn't helped my mother at all. But it's taught me a great deal about these people who have power in our institutions now since COVID-19 and great population shift demographic that's changed our nation irreversibly now. And our government are signalling to us going to visit Xi Jinping, and also signalling an alignment with Hamas and the protest in Palestine, that we are no longer aligning ourselves with Judeo-Christian American empire values anymore. So we're in for a rocky ride in Australia spiritually. Unbelief is the problem beneath the surface, which is atheism. That's functional atheism, and during COVID that's what I saw over Australia. The country was shaking, but materialism and unbelief atheism, which aligns itself with communism pretty perfectly, is what we're seeing in Australia emerging now. So this is what Holy Spirit says to me. When we're arguing this case, it's murder, abuse, and framing the matter needs to stay on track within the Western legal definition of the words here in our legal definitions and not theirs. Sharia law permits atrocities. They turn a blind eye to torture and degradation of human life because it's accepted that some are destined to suffer badly, be martyred in service to Allah, and some are not fit to live at all, which is really what their opinion is of those people over in Gaza. They believe they're supposed to be martyred, and that's an honour. It's not that they feel sorry for them. That's why they haven't let them into Egypt and the surrounding Arab countries. They think they're garbage, lower class, and they also don't think that it's a bad thing that they might die for God. It's an honour to die for God. Also, to blow yourself up with an explosive device or to die in war is a road to heaven. So this is about definitions, cultural understanding, and the lens that we look through. Islamic doctrine is demonic, not Christian or Jewish. It's perverse, and they are evil. It's pretty simple. Doctoring the evidence is like saying that these people somehow bring it on themselves to be killed. In our legal definition, is a crime. Even if you are a bad person or have sickness or have little power and are legally incompetent and weak, like my mother, Western civilization has a higher standard and a higher value for life than these cultures do. Keep that in mind. Both Chinese traditional culture and communist dictatorships and Islamic State, all Sharia law jurisdictions are the same, below our standard. Third world nations with limited regard for real justice and little to no protection for its proper execution to avoid mistakes and deliberate misuse and abuse of power. They are masters of cover-up, lying, deceiving, obfuscating, because it is better for them in the short term and it costs them nothing, in their view, to gain the benefit. So why not? That is the reasoning to justify corruption and theft and fraud. It's immoral in our system, expedient and dishonest, but not in theirs. crime pays and injustice is on the rise because these cultures have been given the green light by the Western system to take over and make hay while the sun shines, and they are. You are watching the effects of it before your eyes. Lowering the standard of living, higher income divide, and the abuse of the powerless, minorities, aged, disenfranchised, and the disabled, for some reason, are being given extra more than ever. Why is that? Under the NDIS scheme in Australia, the disabled are getting extra benefits because the money that's sent to these people creates jobs and is able to be siphoned off as carers, and all the various people around the administration of disability start to take benefits from the government. They start to profit from it. And are the patients, victims, or the disabled people any better off? Maybe some, but others, like your mother, have been treated very badly by them, the carers and the workers in the system of the NDIS disability and aged care sector. It's a tragedy, and it's very frustrating for me to try to address it because I'm dealing with full stonewalling lies, manipulation from people who are in positions of power and responsibility, because I have shone a light on their neglect and abuse and their illegal criminal activities, which has been aided and abetted by people who should know better, including powers of attorney and lawyers who are representing my mother's case in this situation. It's extremely hard for me to be alone, to be the whistleblower, and to be the one that is being treated like the criminal, when in fact the people who are charged with responsibility ought to be people of integrity and upholders of the highest standard of law of the land, our nation, Australia, and in all Western jurisdictions.